where the human race began. Nearly 1 billion people live here. And it's a continent with an incredible diversity of communities and cultures. Yet we know less of its history than almost anywhere else on Earth. But that's beginning to change. In the last few decades, researchers and archaeologists have begun to uncover a range of histories as impressive and extraordinary as anywhere else on Earth. It's a history which has been neglected for years, and it's largely without written records. But it is preserved for us in the gold and statues, in the culture, art, and legends of the people. My name is Gus Hayford. Over many years I've studied the history and culture of Africa. As an art historian, I'm used to drawing stories from mute objects from the past. I'm going to discover the history and find out what really happened to the lost kingdoms of Africa.
The army, which set off the present crisis with a mutiny that forced out the old prime minister.
These are the moments when Ethiopia's kingdom came to an end. In February 1974, the Ethiopian military rose up in revolt. By September, they deposed the Emperor Haile Selassie. It was a coup that brought to an end one of the world's oldest continuous kingdoms.
Gave it its first written constitution. Realizing that times must change, he has decreed constitutional reforms be made, apparently with a view toward making Ethiopia a constitution.
Haile Selassie was the last emperor of a dynasty that claimed it could trace its roots back thousands of years.
And orderly.
The country is now a democratic republic, but Ethiopians haven't forgotten their kingdom's proud past. In the capital Addis Ababa, this statue of Emperor Menelik II celebrates Ethiopia's long tradition of independence. At a time when much of Africa was being colonized by European powers, Menelik II's army fought off an Italian attempt at conquest. Ever since that famous victory, Ethiopia has been a beacon of self-determination for black people around the world. But I'm here to get back beyond that to the ancient history. I've got here the Kebra Nagast, the glory of kings, the story that tells you of all of those kings, those ancient empires. And I want to get behind that and find out exactly what made this country. The book I'm carrying is a modern translation of the most important text in Ethiopian history. The Kebra Nagast was written in the 13th century. It sets out the lineage of Ethiopia's emperors. It makes some grand claims. It says the dynasty began in 950 BC, and that the first emperor, Menelik I, was the son of illustrious parents, Solomon, king of Israel, and Queen Makeda, better known as the legendary Queen of Sheba. The link to the Old Testament gave a legitimacy to the Ethiopian Empire. But is there any truth in it? Is there really a connection between Solomon and Sheba and the Ethiopians? That's what I want to find out.
No.
I can't speak to an emperor, but I do have an audience with Ethiopia's most important spiritual leader, the head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. As with most ancient kingdoms, the Ethiopian emperors claimed their power came from God. Church and state were inextricably linked. So evidence of the origins of the church might throw some light on the history and origins of the Ethiopian kingdom. Could you tell me something about the history or the origins of the Ethiopian church?
1,000 years before Christianity, Ethiopians have accepted officially the Old Testament order, and they have followed for 1,000 years. So we accepted Judaism, and then we accepted Christianity. Now it is 3,000 years old altogether.
According to the patriarch, Ethiopia's Judeo-Christian tradition does date from the beginning of the Ethiopian kingdom. He says that the faith and the emperors came together. The foundation of this belief lies in the astonishing claim that the very basis of Judaism is actually here in Ethiopia. He tells me that the Ark of the Covenant containing the Ten Commandments was brought here from Jerusalem by Menelik, the son of Solomon.
The Ark of the Covenant and the Solomonic descent comes together. The Ark of the Covenant is with us in Ethiopia.
Can that really be true? If the Ark is in Ethiopia, it would be powerful evidence of a link between Ethiopia's founding emperor and the people of the Old Testament. But there's a problem. The Ark is deemed so holy a relic that no one is allowed to see it. And there's no historical evidence that Menelik I was the son of Solomon and Sheba. Yet faith in this legend is still strong. I want to find out why it endures and discover whether it's true. I'm going to look for continuities that might appear over centuries in religious traditions, in language, and in Ethiopia's old buildings. I want to see if I can connect them to Solomon and to Sheba. My journey would take me from Addis to some of the most important historical sites in Ethiopia, going further and further into the past to see if I can reach the time of the Old Testament. My guide here is Habtamu Mama. We've come to one of Ethiopia's most important cities, and it's something of a surprise to me. So this is the old city?
Yeah, this is one of the 5 main gates of Harar.
Right. The legend of Ethiopia's unbroken Judeo-Christian history isn't that straightforward. Harar is a Muslim city. It's like a warren. And it confounds my expectations in other ways too. Ethiopia's modern history has been blighted by drought and famine. But in places unaffected by shortages like Harar's market, trade is brisk. Historically, the Ethiopian highlands are one of nature's storehouses. More crop species are found here than in any other part of the continent. Frankincense used in churches and temples for centuries grows wild here.
Oh, that's gorgeous. What do I do with this incense? And it smells beautiful as it is, but how do I make it even more powerful?
When we make coffee,
Yes.
you just fire, and then you put on the fire, and it smells good for the coffee ceremony.
Thank you very much. Thank you. What should I be saying to her? I'm a seconado. I'm a seconado. And I apologize for being so English about it.
For at least 2,000 years, Ethiopians have traded frankincense north to the eastern Mediterranean, along with a lively trade in other goods. Coffee was first cultivated here in the 9th century, but it isn't the most popular item for sale.
This is chat. And it's the stuff that they eat. And what is it good for you? What does it do? The chat.
It's very good that it makes you awake.
It's just the stimulant. It makes you strong.
It stimulates you more.
It's to make me
Stimulate.
really.